this. Now, this is a kid's bicycle. Yeah, it's the same basic concept, mechanical concept, whether you got a $10,000 bicycle or $100 bicycle. Um, I know some of you are like, I got hydraulic brakes, or maybe you have a suspension system, but a lot of things are applicable to most bicycles or all bicycles. I'm going to talk about something I get a lot of people have trouble on, and that is how to install your pedals. It sounds pretty simple, right? But a lot of people have trouble doing that, and we're going to explain why. I always get a phone call, I can't take this pedal off, or I can't remove the left pedal, and we're gonna talk about that. So we have the drive side of the bicycle and the non-drive side of the bicycle. Right now what you're looking at is the non-drive side of the bicycle, the part where it doesn't have all the gears and stuff like that. It's the left side of the bicycle. You're riding, left side. So just pretend you're on the bike, left side of the bicycle. We're gonna install the left pedal, the dreaded left pedal. I know some of you are probably like, finally somebody's going to talk about this. Okay, so I'm going to get the pedal and some grease. Going to get some grease. Now, some of you are probably like, oh, we're probably going to need a little close-up on this shot. Camera number, let's get camera, yeah, there we go. Which one is that? Number 2? Cool. Yeah, let me get this over here. So I need you to focus on there. So I got 2 types of grease here. You got the nice expensive Park Tool grease. It's the PPL-1, and then you got some cheap automotive grease. This is cheaper, and you got more bang for your buck. I think it's like $5, or probably I think it was less than $5. Got it at Walmart. It's multi-duty. If you're just gonna install pedals, you don't need expensive grease. You don't need expensive bicycle grease. You could just use any type of grease, bearing grease. I think this is bearing. Yeah, it says it's used for bearings, I believe, or high temp applications. Yeah. Anyways, I use the cheap stuff for just assembly parts. I mean, if I'm doing bearings, I'll use this. But I even use this sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to use all this grease. So, anyways, I'm gonna get the pedal and put some grease on it. So you don't need a whole lot of grease, and actually we're gonna get the PTZ for this one. So I got both pedals right here. One says, I think one says R and one says L on it. Yeah, so sometimes, let's get the PTZ. Okay. So sometimes they'll have an L or an R indicating which is the left pedal and which one is the right. Sometimes it'll be right here, depends on the brand, and most of the time it's on this part of the pedals. Doesn't matter if they're $500 pedals or just $2 pedals. It'll be on here. This one I don't see it. Oh yeah, it is. There's an R right here. There's an R right here. You can barely see it with this lighting. Let me see. You could barely see it with even off camera. It's pretty not that great. But anyways, kind of go slowly. If you don't know which pedal it is, put it in there and turn it slowly. If it's not threading in, then you know it's the wrong pedal. So you don't want to force this, and you don't want to do what they call cross threading. Okay, let's get the wide shot, please. And I just lost which one was the right and which one was the left. Okay, that's the right, because it just has R on it, and this, I don't know what is on there. So we get some grease here. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of grease. You don't need a whole lot. Let's get number 2, please. Number two. So I got a little bit of grease on my finger. I'm just gonna coat it. It's not gonna be a whole lot. It's not gonna glob it on there. Just a little bit. Just coat. Not a super thin coating, but you want something to coat it. So, and And if you ever get an old bicycle and you're turning the pedal the correct way and you can't get off, it's because whoever assembled it didn't put grease, so it got seized and rusted. And that's why sometimes you can't restore bicycles unless you want to be sweating and yelling and using some special tools to get the stuff off. Sometimes I like to put a little bit of grease in here. Put a little bit of grease in there. And of course, wipe it with a rag after you're done. So anyways, I gotta find the the right pedal again because I lost it. I think it's on there. See, this is the yeah, R. That's the right pedal. Yeah, that's the right pedal. Okay, cool. Got it. Okay. So I got a fancy pedal wrench, like this huge one, little professional one. It's really thin. Well, it's not that thin, but it is got a high amount of torque. You don't need this. I have it, but you can get away with a regular wrench if it's thin enough. Depends on the pedal, and if you can grab some meat on there, you know. This is it's a 14. No, it's a 15. Most of the time, it's a 15 millimeter. If it could fit between the, if you could tighten it all the way without it, the thickness of this preventing it, then you can use that wrench. But this is too thick. This wrench is, let's get number 2, please. That wrench is way too thick. I'm going to compare it to the other one. See that? Let's try to focus in on there. So, yeah, you see? I'm talking about the head portion of this wrench. Now, you might want to use an adjustable wrench, like an adjustable wrench right here, but that's too thick. So most of the time, if most of you out there, just get one of these, but make sure it's a little thinner. You know, some expensive pedals you have to use a thinner wrench because they just barely give you enough what is it called, material to grab onto, a part of that pedal. But anyways, I'm gonna use this one. This is expensive. I don't if you're just a home mechanic, don't use it. Don't go out and buy this. But yeah, we're gonna install it. So again, wide shot, yeah, please. This is the left pedal. So it's called left hand threaded. Left hand threaded. So that's basically the opposite of what you're used to. On the right side, it's right hand threaded. The left side, it's righty tighty, lefty loosey. So it's the opposite. Clockwise, you turn it clockwise, and it's probably, I know we're on camera, so it's probably not going to look correct. I forget what they call it. But anyways, just if you're turning clockwise on the left side, on the left side, non-drive side of the bicycle, you're turning that pedal clockwise, you're loosening it. If you're turning it counterclockwise, you're tightening it. So it's the exact opposite of what you're used to, at least here in North America. I don't know how I'm pretty sure in the other parts of the world. So I'm gonna start it off with my hand, with my fingers. I'm gonna use my finger wrench. Always start it off, unless I'm a professional. I won't do it because if I cross thread it, it's all bad. No bueno. So I'm gonna start it off with my hand. If it's tapped correctly, if it has threaded correctly, that crank arm, it'll let's get a shot. There we go. That's good. Can you zoom in a bit on there? It's a tad bit more. Not too close, not too crazy. So I'm gonna start it off and I'm gonna turn it. You gotta make sure it's straight. There you go. See, oh, sorry about that. So I like to turn it as far as I can with my fingers and then tighten it with the wrench. So I'm finger tighten it, finger tighten it, finger tighten it. Now see, I'm gonna tell you why after I tighten this. Why I do this. Okay, so got that. Wipe my thing. Let's get a wide shot, please. Wide shot. Okay, and so this is how I tighten it. If I remember. Okay, so So we're turning it counterclockwise in order to turn it. And this is how you get a good amount of leverage on it. So, boom. You do want to tighten this pretty tight. I've worked on bikes, or tuned up bikes with that. Let's get a wide shot, please. I've tuned up bikes where I'm turning this pedal and I'm adjusting the bicycle like I'm on the drive side, and the pedal just comes off. Boom. They didn't even tighten it that tight. And part of the reason was probably because they had a really thick head wrench, and they prevented them from tightening it all the way, or they just didn't crank down on it. Now, check with your manufacturer on the correct torque specification, but I mean, it's hard to explain how hard you need to. I mean, you don't want to be putting all your force on it, but I'd say, I don't know, rough estimate, 20 Newton meters, 25 Newton meters, I think. But don't quote me on that. But I put a good oomph into it, you know. You just saw that. It's a lot tighter than anything else you're gonna tighten on a bicycle. So, but make sure it's on there correctly, because you don't want to be riding and then it falls off. And if you're riding with it barely on there, it'll cross thread. Okay, so talking about cross thread, a lot of people will start it off with the wrench. You know, they're just like, you know, let's get this over with. Boom. If you're not threaded in all the way and it's difficult to tighten, you're probably cross threading it. So you want to back out, loosen it, and then restart it. Because if you cross thread this, you got to retap it. And most of these are aluminum. This is called the crank arm right here. If it's aluminum, you're probably not going to be able to retap it, or because it's harder with aluminum to fix it if it's cross threaded. And if you went too far with the cross threading, like you really forced it in there and it's crooked, and you try to take it out, it's permanent. You got to get a new one of these. And if it's an expensive, what they call not drivetrain. Drivetrain is the whole thing. Crank set. So sometimes if you got an expensive bike, the left, if you damage this one, you have to buy the other side, the gears, and this. So they don't sell these separately. So that's the thing. See, I bought one of these left crank arms just because that's how many people will cross thread them or damage them. So I'll have a spare one, and to replace it with. So yeah, this is the threads. Like this, like I said, most of these are aluminum, and also if you install it all the way and it's crooked, you're gonna feel it when you're cycling. Like you might cause some damage to your knees over time, or your ankles. It's gonna be crooked, so you're gonna be constantly pedaling, especially if you cycle a lot. You will kind of you may get some health issues. But yeah, I always get people crying, calling me. They're like, I can't take this pedal off. I'm turning it to the left, and I can't get my left pedal off. I'm like, because it's left hand threaded, so that's why you can't get it off. I get that call all the time, and so they're cranking down harder on it when they're turning it to the left. So that means they're tightening it even more. So it's going to be more difficult to loosen it. That's a big issue. Whether you buy a kid's bike, adult bike, or a $10,000 bike, I have that issue, and I've had people cross thread these, and I'm like, you need to go buy a new one. Since I don't have a spare in your length, or I don't have one at all, you need to go to the bike shop and go ask them to order you one, or you got to buy one, and I can install it. So that's such a common issue, and a lot of direct-to-consumer bikes don't give enough educational material, or nobody reads it, or they don't make videos about the left pedal. It sounds simple, right? It's not that simple. There's very few things mechanically in America that have a left-hand thread. But if you don't know that it has a left-hand thread, you're going to be crying and trying. You'll be like, how come I can't get it off? Anyways, I'm going to install the other pedal. So I'm going to get this. Boom. Now we're on the right side. I got an expensive repair stand. It's a Park Tool one. It's like over $300 right now because the economy, whatever, blah blah blah. But it's probably like 400, 450, 500. I don't know. Forget about it. You can buy decent ones for $100. They are Bikehan makes one. Check that out. Foundation Tools makes one for $100. If you have a regular bicycle, if you got an e-bike, you got to spend more money. That's if it's especially if it's heavy. If it weighs the same amount as a regular bike, then yeah, you can get away with it. But yeah, that's why you should ride a regular bicycle, lose some weight. Okay, so this is the drive side of the bicycle. Got the gears, you got everything. This is if you're riding the bicycle, is the right hand side of the bicycle. Okay, yeah. Oh, my bad. Let's get camera number 2, please. Camera number 2. I'm gonna play with. Okay, so I'm gonna install the right pedal, and so this is normal, clockwise. Going clockwise to tighten it, counterclockwise to loosen it. I'm gonna start off with my hand, with my fingers, my finger wrench. And now this is on camera, so it may not look the correct way, but I gave you the instructions, counterclockwise, clockwise. I like the saying righty tighty, lefty loosey. That's what I grew up on. The right and the left. Righty tighty, that's how I remember everything. So yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can go. So it's going in smoothly, not cross-threaded. Get my wrench. Another thing, a tap. So like I remember I said, you can fix it with a retap. You may be able to, if you didn't cross-thread it too much. That tap is not too common, and it's not that common. You can't just run out to a hardware store and get it. At least to my knowledge, no. So a lot of you might have. I mean, the tap is expensive. If you get a bicycle specific one, it's really expensive. Let's get a wide shot, please, so I can show them like how the method of tightening it. So kind of notice my how I'm tightening this. I don't know. So I'm kind of holding that other crank arm to prevent the crank arms from turning. Let's see. So kind of go like this. Let's see. Number 2. Let's get number 2 wider. Let's get number back. Yeah, zoom out. So I'm kind of holding that other crank arm. Just showing you the method to my madness. And okay, bada bing. So that's tightened up. So there we go. So if I'm shifting, this thing doesn't pop off. But yeah, so I don't have a tap and die for crank arms. I'm not gonna buy that. But so sometimes I tell people to go to the bike shop and run out, and they got the tap for pedal threads. I think it's 9/16. The pedal threads are they refer to them as 9/16, and that's not metric. It's I believe it's not metric. I mean, sometimes they use these nominal sizes, but it's a 9/16 pedal thread. Most pedal threads are 9/16. I have a tap and die set, but it's only metric. So this is a imperial. So that one of the few things on a bicycle that are imperial is the pedal threads. You got English bottom bracket. What else is that's like the only 2 things. There's something else too. I just can't remember it. That's imperial measurement, threaded measurement. Everything else is pretty much metric. So yeah, pedal threads. We got the pedals on. What else am I gonna talk about?